Congress and President Biden. President Biden is pushing Congress and the states, by the way, to suspend the federal gas tax for 3 months, kind of summer holiday, to provide Americans with a little relief from these high prices at the pump. The nationwide average for a gallon of regular is a little less than $5 right now. And in 14 states, the average is more than $5. In the state of Virginia, the average price of regular is $4.78 a gallon, which is a more than 60% increase from just a year ago. And I bring that up because Virginia Governor Youngkin has requested a gas tax holiday in the state's new budget. And he got it rejected, or the legislature rejected it, and the governor's here with us. So we're going to talk about the gas tax off the top. Thank you for being here first.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me back. You said I could come back, and I appreciate you having me.
We keep our word. Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
I always like to highlight a little bit of bipartisanship, and it sounds like President Biden, who wants this gas tax holiday, and yourself are in the same camp at the moment. You both support it.
Yeah, I felt like the easiest way as a governor to give Virginians a break when we can afford it in Virginia is to suspend our gas tax for 3 months. It's roughly 26 cents a gallon. And unfortunately, our Senate, led by Democrats, said no. And I've sent the bill down 3 times, and they've said no 3 times. And I don't understand why, because this is such an easy way for us to give Virginians a break. We have plenty of money in our Commonwealth Transportation Fund, over $1 billion more than we anticipated. This costs a little over $400 million to provide this break, and I think Virginians deserve it, and I think we should get this done.
Yeah, with the president calling for it, with you calling for it, I think for your state and many others, it might be coming, but we'll have to wait and see. Something else that might be coming is this big decision from the Supreme Court could overturn Roe v. Wade. In Virginia, abortion access is legal up to 25 weeks. You've talked about dialing it down to 20 weeks. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what's going to happen in your state?
Well, first, what we've been focused on is keeping our justices safe. And this leak was done to cause chaos, and parading and picketing in front of the justices' homes in order to influence them is wrong. And so we saw this assassination attempt on Justice Kavanaugh in Maryland, and it's just kept us all very, very on a heightened awareness to make sure our justices are safe. And this final ruling will come down, and if it's delivered as expected, my first job is to keep Virginians safe. And so we're going to protect our constitutional right to protest if people want to protest and demonstrate. But we're also going to enforce the law and make sure there's no violence. And so we've coordinated with mayors and local police and state police to make sure that people get to express their constitutional rights, but we're going to keep people safe. And if they break the law, we're going to arrest them.
But what about women who may be worried about their abortion rights? I hear it. We all agree. We want everybody to be safe. We get that.
But no one wants to see protesters outside Supreme Court justices' home.
Right. Home, or them endangered. But what do you say to women in Virginia who may be worried?
Well, first of all, nothing changes immediately in Virginia. And what we're going to do is work with our legislature. I'm a pro-life governor, and I've got to work with our legislature to see the next path. And so we'll start those discussions. It's going to require a cooperation between our legislators and the governor in order to get something done, and we're going to start that work.
So it sounds like you don't really want to say until we know exactly what the decision is going to be?
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, I think there's a lot of supposition on what it's going to say based on the leaked draft opinion. But we need to wait to see what it says, and then we'll work with our legislature and go to work as a team from there.
So if you're pro-life,
can we ask about that? Because I'm worried about the clock ticking. The January 6th committee hearings that are going on right now, where we've seen time after time Trump advisors telling the president at the time, listen, you lost. He is still refusing to acknowledge that. Even as we sit here today, do you think that's hurting your party? And do you believe that Joe Biden was elected president of this country?
I do believe that Joe Biden was elected president of this country, and I think what happened on January 6th was awful, awful. It was a real blight on our democracy. I have to be honest, though. I talk to Virginians every day, and what they're talking about is not January 6th. What they're talking about is runaway inflation. They're talking about gas prices through the roof, grocery prices. They're worried about crime in their local neighborhoods.
We're all talking about that, Governor, but this is also very important because there are so many conflicting things where people say, oh, it was just tourists that got out of control. It was not a big deal. I mean, I do think it's important that the record reflect accurately what happened. Do you think it's hurting your Republican Party?
Well, let me start again. I think the media cares a lot more about this than
the people do.
And we can tell. I mean, there's primetime coverage, and candidly, not many people are watching it. And this is because around the kitchen tables in Virginia and I think America, it's runaway inflation, it's crime, it's schools. These are the issues that Virginians and I think Americans are worried about. And this is why this bill we signed yesterday, which is our budget, delivers lower taxes, big investment into schools, big investment into law enforcement. And this is why I think Virginians are excited about what we're doing, is because we're focused on these kitchen table issues that are most important. And I think that's what governors should be doing right now.
You say that you believe that President Biden was elected president. Why wasn't that said loudly at the time? And why individuals like you perpetuated the lie that the election was stolen?
Well, I don't think I perpetuated the lie.
Not you. I said
I don't think I did. So
I was very clear.
So I just want to be clear. We ran an election in 2021 that was clear. I won, and I won clearly. And I think we can run elections that are fair and accurate in Virginia, and that's what we're focused on. Again, I believe that there is a big focus by the media on this that is really disconnected with what the average Virginian and the average American is most focused on. These kitchen table issues are real. And when you see people who make $50,000 and $60,000 a year, who see a $4,000 and $5,000 a year increase in their lives from groceries and gases and utility bills, this is what people are most focused on right now.
You mentioned keeping Virginia safe. I know we have to go, but the gun law proposal, do you support it when it comes to funding red flags and background checks for individuals under 21?
Yeah, so to be clear, I haven't studied the law in detail. Let me tell you what we did in Virginia after these two horrific shootings in New York and in Texas, is we pulled together local educators and local law enforcement to make sure we could preempt any, God forbid, copycat crime. We immediately went to work to fund extra money in for school resource officers, and we got it in our budget. We, in fact, signed a bill that would require schools and law enforcement to collaborate on school safety plans. These are things that I could do right out of the box. And then finally, we're in a mental health crisis in America. We know it. We're in it in Virginia. And so we just signed a budget that includes enhanced funding for mental health support. These are things that we went to work on immediately. And I think that's, as a governor, what I can do is take action immediately to deliver results for Virginians.
We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
you for coming
back. Back a third time.
I
come back again.
All right. I look forward to
Maybe if you have an
Governor
announcement about
Youngkin.
2024, just mull it over.
Yeah, I did want to ask you about that.
We'll
We'll
talk
We'll talk during the
Put it on
commercial break.
social